as stocks are clearly walking Bitcoin around like a dog, and Jerome Powell just tapped the brakes on his, I guess, approach or policy. It's not policy, but approach. The next big date for economic activity to, I guess, confirm any continuation move as opposed to sideways choppy action. The next big economic data to further propel whatever move is happening now is around the middle of December. 13th, 14th, 15th. I think there are a few dates in there, right? 13th through the 15th. And again, you can use things like forexfactory.com to map that out. So here are the questions you need to ask yourself. Now that we know Bitcoin is being walked like a dog, not that that's bad, but it's being managed or moved by the stock market. Jerome Powell is moving the stock market. Therefore, Jerome Powell is moving Bitcoin. Jerome Powell just hit the brakes. The next economic data comes out mid-December. Now, all that together, are the markets going to see more incentive or lack of incentive to buy or sell confidently until the 13th through 15th? So is price just going to flop around near these local highs? That's actually a pretty good guess. Or how will the market react? Will the market react to, they feel that the big bad days, or just the market in general, particularly traditional finance, do days, so the big days and all the retail days and just amateur days, everybody, do all the days want a license to continue to party? You gotta fight for your right to rally. One of those, like Beastie Boys mode, like, let's do it, man. Okay, that could happen as well. And that would easily get Bitcoin to 19K. Yeah, it would probably get it to 19K. And that would be your Santa Claus rally. So that would be running from now till the 13th, and maybe it'll hesitate around the 10th, go sideways just for a little bit to wait for confirmation. Are we going the right way? And then, so on the 10th, they start asking themselves that. We rally for 10 days from now till then. Then they say, hey, maybe we should wait till the economic data before we push it any higher. And then it comes out good, like where he hits the brakes even harder. Core CPI and all that stuff says, hey, Jerome Powell, your shit is slowing down the market just like you wanted. It's bringing down inflation at the pace you wanted to attempt to have a smooth landing, right? And so if we rally first and then those numbers come out, I mean, shit's going to go. I mean, that honestly could be the bottom for Bitcoin. I don't think the stock market. I just think that the stock market would race somewhere closer to all-time highs and then go down in 2023 late. It'd be a pretty big rally, but it'd probably be the end for Bitcoin. So what's happening here, there are a few different conceptual ideas what could happen, and no one knows which one it'll be, right? So now we're going to put what I just said from I guess the national / global, national perspective, and we're going to throw that on the chart so you can see it with, I guess, lines, and you're going to see that. So let's dive into that. Let's go get some Bitcoin. I'm still on the Phantom chart. For some reason, I'm guessing it's going to go to 28 to 29 cents before it slows down. Anyway, we're on Bitcoin. If you're just hopping on, now's the time to hit smash like and make sure, take a quick moment as I'm setting up my chart here for you. Take a quick moment to double check that you have all alerts on. I think it's actually a high percentage. Only about 28% of my subs have the all alerts on. And I just explained to you all the stuff that's happening. It's going to have a strong pivot. We just don't know when. So if you don't have the alerts on, and I'm, and I try to alert everybody on YouTube, you're not going to get it. So make sure you hit that. All right. Macro trend line. The way I'm looking at Bitcoin is extremely simple right now on the micro timeframes. If you're new to my channel and you don't know the context of this, hey, what does price look back here? If you zoom out, what are you going to see? I've covered that so much on my channel that I think right now I'm not going to necessarily go back through it all, but a super, super duper quick visual without boring my returning viewers is we are in a macro channel. Let's take off the origin lines too. Ooh. I don't know what that is. I've never seen that screen before. Take off the origin lines. We don't need those on this chart. Okay, 69K top. Boom. I guess I can get rid of this for now. And already had a bull trap, fell through all the way to the bottom. Had a bull trap, fell through, has not made it to the bottom or even the point of control yet. We're actually re-entering after falling out of this purple section, just like this or here. It's coming, actually, it's more like here, and it bounced from this green line and is getting potentially rejected here. You see that? So perhaps, I guess it technically hasn't done it yet, because here it got rejected, here it got rejected, here rejected, here rejected, here rejected, here rejected. Two bull traps went straight through, bull trap went straight through. This is the first time it's actually come back to it to get rejected. So that's what's happened on the macro scale. We are entering the bull trap zone since the 69K top. Like, this is macro shit, all right? Not super macro, not, you know, decade macro, or even multi-year macro, but it's a year macro. All right, so I'm gonna take that off though. Just realize that is what's happening around this micro analysis, okay? On top of that large analysis is a Bitcoin bottom will, or has and likely always will occur where you have structure looking left. When Bitcoin was way up here, and I finally realized, it might have been over here, and I finally realized, you know what? The bull market's over. I targeted 16,400 as my absolute favorite number for a bottom for Bitcoin. Before FTX happened, before Luna, everything based off this structure. So now that price is down here, I already knew that this was my favorite target. And so I'm putting this horizontal here. I'm not thinking that it's, you know, a bottom, because obviously price is under it, but what price is doing is, I guess that's a little higher than 16. Nope, this is just above it. But it's the same, it's the same structure. I apologize. 16.4 should be the bottom wick. Yeah, right there. I thought Bitcoin would wick down to here and then close candles right at the 20K mark. That's what I thought would happen way back when Bitcoin was like at $45 or $45,000. I thought it was going to go floom and close a week up here. All right. So now look at how I have this structure. I have it from so on this. This is where Bitcoin is. It's in this. It's in the structure. This is what's holding it price, literally. Like, if you don't realize that this is what's happening. So this is November. So this is when Bitcoin was getting ready to break out of the 2017 market cycle high. It came up to just under 20K, did not break, did not set an all-time high, got really close. I think it did on a couple exchanges. And then it pulled back and then raced up, right? And during this time, I won a 4-year standing $500 bet, but he never paid me. I'm really surprised he didn't pay me too. Yeah, I bet somebody in 2017 that before January 1st, 2021, that Bitcoin would be above 20K. I literally had that bet from way back when, because it was the top, right? I said, nope, it'll get the top before that date, and it barely happened. But right around the new year, Bitcoin went like to 32K. It's crazy. Anyway, so that is what is on this chart right here. I will go ahead and superimpose this box so we can have it on the micro time frames, and then what you're about to see is the stuff that you need on your chart. Oop, now I need the origin line back on. To essentially get price right at any moment. I'm telling you, like, the charts are clear right now. If you take a quick minute to do this stuff. Here, let me go to a smaller time frame. Okay, so what do we have here? We have a micro channel that's flashing. See that? We have a macro horizontal. We have an origin line. You don't need all of them. We just have one. And we have the weekly, let me take it off. And we have the weekly 10 EMA that is flashing right now. These are, I promise you, for the next, until it leaves this area, this is probably all you need to have an edge for any action at any moment. I mean, the chart is looking really clear right now, and let me break it down why. Simply looking at the weekly 10, so if we can only use this one tool, which honestly, if you only had one tool, this is the tool I would use. At any, like, bear market, bull market, doesn't matter. I would just use candles, which is not a tool, it's price, but I would use the weekly 10. So at any moment, if you have too much separation from the weekly 10, it sucks price back to it both ways. If you get too far above it, it's bad. You're going to get sucked back to it. The same thing happens when you go down here. Do you always hit it? No, but you get sucked back. Too much separation, sucked back. A little bit too much separation, sucked back. There, sucked back slowly. Here, what's happening? Sucked back. Sometimes it hits it, sometimes it goes above it, sometimes it comes up shy. Those are your three options. So keep that in mind. This is layer one of the analysis short term, and I'm telling you it's going to help you so much. So I do this with the MTF EMA. There are multiple versions of it. YouTube tier, YouTube Cryptillion tier, and Discord, I've already posted multiple ways to do it. MTF EMA indicator, so you can be on the 1 hour chart to see the weekly 10. That's what this is. That's tool number one. That's the concept behind it. Tool number two layered on, so that's what we got sucked back in. That's the only feeling you need, right? We had a lot of separation, and you're getting sucked back. There are only three ways you get sucked back. You come up shy, so you got to remember this stuff. You either come up shy, you go exactly to it, or you fail your pattern above, fake out, right? Or technically four ways, because when the bull market's going, I mean, it'll go above it. But in bear market, the three main ways. So there's no reason to assume anything else besides those three ways will happen. We're not in a bull market. So stop assuming it'll happen. Just let time prove, like, the one time it happens, it's okay to be wrong. But I would prefer to be right 8 times instead of guessing, that's the bottom, that's the bottom. Did you buy the dip? What altcoins you buying? All the stupid shit that Twitter accounts were talking about through the whole bear market, or at least 2/3 of it. So I would rather be right 8 times and wrong the last time it finally breaks out. So that's why it's logical to right now assume it will be one of those three things. Okay, now the next layer will help give you more information on top of that. I really hope you're following me. Like, what I'm telling you is what I'm showing you can do for other coins. It won't always be the exact same tools, but you have to find the tools you need for the job. And right now, these tools are fucking perfect. Like, I approach, some jobs, I don't have the exact right tool, but I can still do it, right? It's not as fast, or the quality isn't as good, or both together. I'm slower and the quality sucks. Or sometimes to have the same amount of quality, it just takes more time without the perfect exact tool. But I think right now, like, these are the perfect tools. All right, and I'm showing you how to use them. All right, for current price action. The macro channel, we're just using that for context. We got back into the bull trap zone after leaving it, and it is the first time that it's coming up for a rejection, okay? So the weekly 10 is at the top. That's right at 18,000. That looks like a pretty good target. If it can get above this blue line, this is what's happened, okay? But I'm going to take that off. That's not technically part of my analysis. Origin line. Origin line is. Now, from an origin line perspective, we know that Bitcoin does not have permission to come up here to this line until this line is hit or lower. It won't happen. And technically, it doesn't have permission to do anything more than a 45-degree angle from when you look left. So when you go above this line from which it fell, you go above it, now look left, the local high, the most bullish permission it had, or the highest it has permission to go above the current line from which it fell without touching this line. So how high can it go without touching this line? If it can't touch this line, then how high can it go? It's a projection tool, 45-degree angle. Oh, that's too frequent, sorry. All right, it shouldn't pop up and do that shit as much anymore. So this is the second rule, right? The weekly 10, we have 3 ways. with the origin line, we know that the highest it can go is in here. Like, it's not going to go any higher, folks. This rule has only been broken one time ever, and it was when Bitcoin price wasn't real. It was, so after that one, it shouldn't do it as much. It should wait like 5 minutes or so. Yeah, it's only been broken once. When Bitcoin price was literally being controlled to do the textbook shape of Wyckoff, right? In 13 years, the rule's been broken once. So the rule probably won't be broken again. It doesn't have permission to go above there. Now, what are the three ways that this can react? It can come up shy to the origin line, it can get rejected by the origin line, or it can failure pattern above. Doesn't that sound similar to the three ideas of the weekly 10? So now, how do you start getting that shit to align? Right? Like, very powerful things. The weekly 10 is very powerful. Origin lines are like the king boss. There's nothing more, I mean, honestly, there's nothing more powerful than origin lines outside of maybe coordinated whale efforts. That might be the only thing that's more powerful. But you can't, there's no chart for that. So now that's two. Yeah, that's two. Three, now I'm going to go to the 15, it's probably too low. 30-minute chart. Yeah, I'll go to the 30-minute chart. Now we're really zoomed in, and over here is November of this month, the 9th, or of last month. So the 9th of November is right behind me, okay? So we have about a month of price history right here. Roll these lines. And this wick down, it touches the origin line. And just try to, and it goes just above that wick from the 14th. Like, draw this line. It doesn't have to be perfect. Put on the weekly 10, draw, something close to this, and draw these 5 lines. I'm telling you, if you understand the rules of each and know how they're stacking on top of each other, it's right now, like, it's beautiful. It's all aligning, and it's so clear. I'm telling you, it's true. All right, so now we have the micro channel as 1, origin line is 2, weekly 10 is 3. Oh, I haven't gone over the rules. So the rules for this are very similar to the origin lines. If you go below this, right, and use it as resistance, then you typically have to, but it's and use as resistance. So if you're falling below it, so this is not falling below it because you're walking up, right? That is a higher low, you're fine. But if you are, I guess technically this is a higher low, but if you start going like this and falling below it in a micro downtrend, then you have to touch this line before you can get past this one to touch that one. So right now it's indecisive. So let's zoom way in. So we know that there is a possibility for both the weekly 10 and the origin line on that macro scale that it could come up shy of all that. And it's in the bull trap zone, which is likely going to get rejected. But how high does it go before it's rejected, right? So as of right now, if it starts breaking this line, and let's go to the 3-minute chart, and you see it being used as resistance. So down, when it touched it again, did it use it as resistance? No. When it went below it, did it use it as resistance on the way back up? No. So does this look like it's going to break down yet? No. So at this exact moment in time, you have an edge that this line or higher will be hit. That's it. And you know the potentials of the more macro chart, it could go even higher because we're still shy of both the weekly 10 and the origin line. It might stay shy, but we're just trying to figure out where will it turn around. We have 3 general choices and we're going to be able to see it, right? But at any moment in time with these 4 tools, I'm telling you, you're going to be able to have an edge. Will you be able to guess exactly correctly, every time? No. In a probability, even a 98% probability means that 2 times out of 100, you're going to be wrong. Right? So it doesn't get even a badass probability does not guarantee it's going to happen. It's you are the house, not the gambler. That's all it means. What do you prefer to be, the house or the gambler? my blue box. Shit. And last one. There you go. That's resistance as well. You just use that as normal horizontal resistance. If you're this far in a bear market and you don't know how to use a horizontal for support and resistance, know what it means, then... But how would I use this in my chart? Well, I would say that all it means is it's going to have extra trouble getting above here. And if it gets above there, it's probably going to spike above with force, get rejected by this, have to land on this line, just like it did here. Got above it, got rejected, landed on this line. It'll probably do the same thing. I don't see this getting rejected by the bottom side of this next line. I think it's up there. It's going to push through. Hell, it might hit the origin line on the next push, honestly. Because to get through the zone, you got to have a lot of whales market buying. Like you got to have algos or institutions market buying through there. Going to be a lot of orders. And if you looked at a heat map order book or whatever, I bet you there's a lot of shit going on somewhere between 17.9, 17.2 to 17.9. Like there's something there. And it's probably, you know, I just almost every time that I have my horizontals, it just aligns with the heat map almost perfectly. So in order to get through this, they're going to have to punch it. So what's going to happen is it's probably not just going to say, hey, knocking on the door. No, it's probably going to go past it, get rejected by this, and come down on it. That would be my best bet. Or if it starts getting rejected by this, then I'm going to bet it's going to hit this line. But as of now, it's not. It hasn't used it as resistance, and it's on top of it. So my best bet is, at bare minimum, it's going to hit this. How will it hit it? Based off of this information, it has to punch through it, then come and land on it. And then would my next move analysis change in 10 minutes if price went below this line and used it as resistance on the next 5-minute candle? Yes. That could happen before I have this uploaded. So just realize if it doesn't do this and this, like coming on my channel saying, you're wrong. Well, as of now, it is more probable. I know it could be wrong because my probability is not that great, but it's over 50%. Like I just have so many people come on my channel and say this. I'm like, dude, I covered what price? Okay. If I tell you my 2 or 3 best guesses and literally show you if I'm wrong, this is what price will do, and it does something like that, not my main guess, and you come on my channel and say, you're wrong, but I showed you if I'm wrong, this is what it'll do. Like how are you okay leaving those comments? I don't understand. Maybe because I didn't watch the whole video. I don't know. But I'm like, come on, man. And that's it. That is Bitcoin. Those are all the tools you need for now. Make sure you have the all alerts on. It's particularly newer folks to my channel or even returning viewers, because a lot of you do not have that bell hit. Hit that bell for me, and we're going to move on to other questions within the live chat. Draw the lines on your chart. Do this. Do it. Let me make myself, before I stop this recording. Make it look like this. Here, let's get this bitch off of here. Bam. Gender neutral, bitch. Gender neutral. So the flashing guy is non-binary. Okay. Make sure this is on your chart. And if you don't know how to use, these tools, you need to look at Tradingview tutorials. I have one on my, you can look for my Tradingview tutorial, but you need to learn how to make these disappear and stuff. All right, that's Bitcoin. Be safe.